Good morning. This is Dylan Jovine from Behind the Markets. Happy Friday. So today I wanted to just comment on Amazon getting rid of the work from home culture, stopping that and forcing all its employees back to work. And I saw that article this week and I thought to myself, good, it's about time. Because I started thinking back on when I started working on Wall Street. Now you have to remember, I grew up poor. I mean, welfare, food stamps, the whole shebang, single mom. So we were really tight for money, and my mother had us, and she worked during the day and went to school at night. So I was always taught the value of hard work. And I remember when I got my first job on Wall Street, I basically had a couple pairs of pants that were nice, a few shirts. I had shoes that had like a tear, like after a few months, it got a hole on the bottom, like the rubber sole was starting to pop off. And I remember the opportunity I got was to work with a guy who was worth a whole bunch of money, a real legend trader on Wall Street, the first opportunity I got before I went into analysis and then sales and then owned my own firm. But I remember those early days. It reminded me of those early days. I used to get into the office early and I used to talk to everybody that I could talk to, especially all the old timers that had this experience. I mean, I would just go up there and ask them millions and millions and millions of questions before anybody else came in. Whoever was in early, I talked to them and asked them about the markets, asked them about their history. I really, really learned so much from those old timers. And I mean, to me, that was my way out of being broke as a kid. In those early days, gosh, I used to get to work on Wall Street when it was dark outside. And I would leave at night when it was dark outside. I was burning for success. I had this burning passion inside of me. Maybe it was just the fear of being as broke as I was growing up. But I mean, I was so tight for money. I remember they paid us a pittance. And I remember I'd take the trains to work, and every 2 days I'd save $1.25. And I would have enough every 2 days to buy either a pretzel at the pretzel stand or a hot dog, what we call in New York a dirty water dog. And I would eat that. That was the food that I could afford. The days where I didn't have that money to save up, what I would do is in the lunchroom, they had these cup of noodles, soup in the lunchroom at the firm, and I would go there, and that was my lunch. I couldn't afford to buy lunch. I was really, really broke. I was really starting out living in New York. I mean, it was really, really tight. But I knew that my path forward was through learning everything I could learn with those people that I work with. You don't get that same kind of situation in a remote work environment. You just don't. You have to be at the office to talk to the elders, to pick their brains. Even little conversations down a hallway have enlightened me, changed the way I think about certain things. I mean, my goodness, having the opportunity to pick the brains of the elders at my firm, at the first firm I worked for, I mean, it set me on the path. They taught me lessons that I still use to this very, very day. I remember one lesson they taught me, one old timer, I think his name was Mickey. I don't really remember anymore if it was Mickey or this other guy, Leo, who said this. But he told me that he was a very old guy. Very, very old. Well, to me, I was 21 or something, and he seemed very old to me. But he said that when he started on Wall Street, 50, 60 years before I started, he said that the ticker tapes were still being used. And he said that whenever there was a market crash, how you can tell the bottom was near, he said you'd see a bunch of old people walking around with canes because they would go to their brokers, come down to Wall Street to place their buy orders. And that's how you knew that the bear market was almost over, because you'd look down on Wall Street and you'd see a lot of old people with canes just kind of walking over to their brokerage firms because they had the experience. They knew. That's the great gift of getting older, is that you get this experience. And I actually understand that now. I understand that. I'm not an elderly person yet. God grant that I get to be. But I understand what people like Mickey told me, what other friends like Mark taught me about trading, about how Wall Street can manipulate things, about how if anybody puts a research report out, you have to see if that bank, if they have any ties or they're trying to win investment banking business. You have to see if anybody's putting research, a buy report on a company out there. You've got to look deep to see if they own the stock or they're shorting the stock. Maybe they're just trying to get people to buy it to get one of their big clients out of a large position. So I got to learn, and these are conversations that happen walking down hallways. I got to learn the game from older people who have been playing it for decades. And that really changed my life. And it was a great gift. So I am happy to learn that Amazon is ending this work from home nonsense. I think that it is any young, enterprising, ambitious person, this is a great opportunity for you to jump over there. They used to say about me, I got a reputation as, oh, Dylan, he'll just stick a straw in your brain and suck out all the knowledge he wants and go to the next one. And that was the reputation I got as somebody who wanted to learn so bad that I would just listen to all crazy kinds of stories and filter them through, many of which I only understood as I got older years later. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. That's all I have today.